We left civilization, flew into the Amazon. For 4 days we were walking deep into the Amazon, and after 4 days we arrived to a small community, Asaryamas. This was the last. There's nothing past that community. For 4 days we were walking down a trail. Now there's no trail. And when there's no trail, how do you make the next pass? Do you take the machete and cut the vegetation? There's no trail. The only things that we could follow were little tributaries, rivers, creeks, and because the water source will guide us through the forest. But walking by the water is the hardest, because the closer to the water, the denser the vegetation. So what we did, we jumped into the rivers, into the creeks, and we're trying to walk as much as we could in the water. Completely wet, our stuff heavy, starting developing blisters and rashes. It wasn't easy at all. And we walked like that for a day, and nothing to eat. And we're starving, but we have no food, because Carl said it's very silly to take food into the Amazon. We have rice, we have beans, and we have a shotgun. So we'll hunt. But on the river, everything changes. Carl is like a shaved Samson. The only one of us that doesn't know how to swim is Carl. So on the raft, Kevin is taking leadership, but Carl is not about to give leadership up. So both of them are fighting and screaming, and Kevin is giving instruction, Carl is giving the opposite instruction, and we are split. Marcus follows Carl, and I stayed by Kevin. The river became very narrow as we entered the canyon. The sheer cliff started building from both sides. We started shooting rapids when we hear a terrible noise, and we see the huge rock, and then came the heat. And before we know it, we're on the boulder, hanging on the raft, climbing back on the raft, on the boulder. The other side is the waterfall. We stand on the waterfall with our raft trapped in the middle. We are hanging on the raft, jumping back on our feet, looking down, and both of us are shattered. That's the waterfall. I look at Kevin, and I see that Kevin is completely pale. I know we are in big trouble. Kevin is looking down at this vast amount of water. We were really desperate, completely desperate. In the middle of this white water, to be stuck at night. Kevin said, we cannot do that, so here's what we're doing. You hold the machete. He said, you hold the machete in your hand. I'm going to jump. If I'm going to make it to the right bank, you throw the machete after me. I'll climb up the cliff, cut some vines, make some rope, come down and take you out. I was crying by that stage because I knew he was going to die. And I was crying for him, but I was crying for me because I knew he's going to die and he's going to leave me alone here. And then I'm inside the guts of this river, tremendous pressure on my chest, pitch black. I just close my eyes. I'm afraid to open my eyes. I hold and hold and hold, and I feel I'm bursting. There's no air. I cannot take it anymore. And then suddenly the raft just pops out, and as it pops out, I grasp for her. It feels like gold. It's so precious. And I look back for a minute, second. I see Kevin. Kevin is there, waving the curve. I don't see Kevin anymore.
Yossi Ghinsberg is a master storyteller and author of the international best-selling book, Jungle, based on his harrowing adventures in South America. After a tragic separation from his friends, Yossi was lost and alone for weeks, deep in the heart of the uncharted Amazon jungle. His amazing struggle to survive against all odds is a story of inner strength, triumph over adversity, the power of faith, and of self-discovery. A truly gifted speaker, Yossi takes his audiences away from the mundane into a journey filled with riveting stories and packed with inspirational insights. His message permeates the hearts and minds of his audiences and affects them on emotional as well as intellectual grounds. The results are long-lasting personal and organizational growth, endorsing creativity, prompting to action, instilling courage, and expanding conventional boundaries.